everyone, welcome back to the review realm. It's Sienna, and today we're going to be talking about The Night Agent Season 2, and this is going to be a review that will contain spoilers because I can't keep my mouth shut. So, you have been warned, but before we get to it any further, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. So let's get to the review. The Night Agent Season 2 starts off, and you see Peter, and he is with another night agent named Alice, and she is sort of training him to be a night agent, and they are in Bangkok, and their mission is that they know a person is about to sell information, US intelligence, to another person. They need to find out what that information is that he's selling and who he is selling it to. Well, sadly, the job goes bad and Alice ends up dying. And that is how the season starts. Peter doesn't really know what to do. He believes that someone from the inside of Night Agent has betrayed him, and he goes off the grid for a month, and then there is this month time jump, and that is when we see lovely Rose again, and she is working in California. She is coding this marketing program that basically serves the internet, all public information, and it uses like facial recognition to help market people better on like social media, to help get better advertisements to them, and that is what she's creating and selling. And then one day she just gets a call from this random number, this random guy, and is like, have you seen Peter? Have you been in contact with Peter? Blah blah blah. And then she's like, no, I haven't heard from Peter in like 10 months, blah, blah, blah. That's it. And now she's all worried about Peter, like, oh my gosh, something wrong has happened. And she uses her little program and finds out that Peter is in New York. So she decides to go off to New York to help Peter and find him, because supposedly he is off the grid and no one knows where he is. And the whole night agent agency is trying to find Peter and they can't. She's like, I can. She uses her software, scours the internet, all public information. She finds Peter, which no one in the government could. Okay, Peter has been missing for a month, and you're telling me the government doesn't have a program that can't surf, okay, the whole internet, all social media platforms? You're telling me the government doesn't have something like that? It was so, that pissed me off. I was like, bro, this is so stupid. The government is tracking us all the time, and you're telling me they don't have a little software that can't search social media? Because she literally finds an image of Peter on Instagram, okay? And that's how she figures out his location. And you're telling me the US government doesn't have something like that? Give me a break. So that pissed me off. But she finds him in the middle of like an action, boom, boom, boom. And then she's like, Peter, I can help you. I have this amazing software. I'm so good at computer stuff. And he's like, okay, you can stay, but stay out of danger. I can't protect you, blah, blah, blah. That's basically how it happens. Catherine is basically Peter's case manager at the Night Agent agency. Since Peter has gone off the grid, she is basically like, Peter, what the heck's going on? She tries to find him, and she ends up using Rose to find Peter, which, yay, good job. And you know the person who called Rose and was like, have you heard from Peter? Well, it turns out that he was the guy who was buying the US intelligence in Bangkok, okay? And he is interested in Peter at this point. I have just a lot of problems, so that's your basic overview. There are some little side stories, like there's an Iranian, there's a foxglove. If you've seen the season, you know what I'm talking about. This isn't going to be crazy in depth on the story, only relevant information. So let me tell you some other problems I have. Now, Alice, she was the night agent who died in the first episode, okay? And you know, her and Peter, you see very little of them together, but what you do see is, oh, they have a cute little relationship. You know, she's training him. I don't know why they didn't wait to kill her in episode 2. That's what they should have done. They should have waited, built that relationship so the audience cares about her. Because throughout this season, it's like, oh, Peter watched his partner die and all this other stuff, and it's really bothering him and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I didn't get that from Peter at all through this whole season. And honestly, Alice, I know her as the girl from Pitch Perfect. I don't know her as a night agent. And frankly, when she died, I didn't really care. I was like, dang, that's tough. Oof. Because she literally died within the first 10 minutes of the episode. It was crazy. I was like, dang, she's just dead. And I think it would have been more impactful if we got to know her a little bit more and actually cared about her. So you could have even waited till episode 2. Now, my other problem in the beginning of this season was Rose and that phone call she got. Have you seen Peter? This guy is an intelligence dealer, okay? He's just selling it to the highest bidder. He has all these resources. You see him a bit more throughout this season. He has a whole team, okay? And you're telling me he couldn't have just tracked Rose's phone? He couldn't have just sent someone to watch Rose to see if she has been in contact with Peter? No, no, no. Instead, he literally just calls Rose. Like, yo, have you seen? Like, why the hell would Rose tell you anything about Peter? Okay, she doesn't even know who you are. It's such a stupid move. What should have happened, in my personal opinion, okay, and take it with a grain of salt, I'm just a girl. He should have kidnapped Rose and made it known to Peter that he kidnapped Rose. And then Peter would have walked in there, okay, because he loves her. Men in love, stupid. But that's besides the point. Okay, that's what he should have done if you really wanted to find Peter, kidnap Rose. And she was in California, no security, it would have been easy, okay? But whatever, he just calls her, it doesn't even matter. And my other problem with this, as you can tell, I'm really passionate because throughout this whole show, I was like, I'm about to slap someone because I can't take this. But my main problem with season 2 was Rose. At least in the first season, there was a point to her character. Peter had to protect her. This season, she just comes walking in, thinking she's the smartest. Oh, I'll help you, Peter. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. She's like, I'm gonna stay even though it puts me in danger. And Peter's like, we can get you Secret Service detail. You're gonna be okay. You can go back to California. And she's like, no, Peter, I'm gonna stay with you and help get you through this case. So she stays of her own free will, okay? Own free will. And then stuff happens and she basically gets a little upset. Her life, she's like, I should go back to California. I don't know why I stayed. Like, girl, gotta pick a side. You either are gonna stay or you're not. It drove me crazy because the whole thing. And she's like dealing with all this trauma that happened in the first season. And you just see her with her therapist and she's like, blah, 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 therapy, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my gosh, we get the point. Like, if you're gonna deal with trauma, like they had this scene with nightmares, like they should have just kept doing more of that, okay? I can only watch a therapy session for so long, I'm just being completely honest, and her changing her mind every which way. There's also a scene where Peter has to lie to a girl, and he basically lies to protect thousands of people, okay? And Rose knows that he's lying because he has to save all these people, but she just doesn't know what the information is because she doesn't have the security clearance. But she's like, I can't believe you just lied to her and blah, blah, and lecturing Peter. Like girly pop, okay? One person feelings getting hurt saves thousands of people's lives, okay? I'm saying if you're gonna lie to save thousands of people, that's a pretty good reason to lie. I'd be like, you keep lying, you go save the people, because honestly, you can get over your feelings, okay? It's a lot harder to get over thousands of people dying. So that was another thing that just bothered me. So Rose, it just felt like it was like a bunch of bait and switch. It's like, she is good, and then it's like, no, I want to go back to California. And it was like every episode, oh my gosh. But I eventually got over it. I'm getting over it over time, and honestly, I did enjoy the season. It had good action scenes. I know I just basically pooped on the whole season, but I did enjoy it. Not everything was perfect in my humble opinion, and they really set up a season 3 perfectly, which I would be down for. I haven't seen Netflix officially confirm a season 3, but I hope they do. I do hope they take into consideration or at least make Rose's character important and why she's in the story more relevant, because it just felt like in this season, it was like, oh yeah, she's Peter's love interest, let's just throw her in the story. And at parts, that's what it felt like. But that's just my thoughts on The Night Agent Season 2. Overall, I did enjoy it, and I would recommend it to others, especially if you liked Season 1. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Have a good day. Bye!